The nice part about doing this last is that you get somebody else to come up here and do all the things like, we've got an increase in numbers and we've had all of this. So I'm not going to bore you with any of that. My name is Nishal, and for one of the few times, I'm going to say that I'm representing INX-ZA for this meeting. If you're new somehow to South Africa or the South African peering context, if you've just fallen out the tree, INX-ZA is the operator of the community-run internet exchanges in South Africa. And I'm the guy that is responsible for making sure that everything keeps running. INX would be nothing without our community. We'd be nothing without our sponsors, and that's been new. That's been new for, well, most of you, I guess, for about 28 years now. So I think, everybody likes to clap hands and have other people. Really, you should be clapping yourselves on the back, because you're the ones that have helped to build and grow this peering community. And all the statistics that you've heard before this have been because you've enjoyed and know what it's like to peer for 28 years. So well done to all of you. You just make me look good. Our sponsors, all of these names that are on the screen here, you'll probably see some of them repeated on the big screen behind me as well. They're fantastic people that help us to continue to build and run community peering in this country. If you'd like to understand why community peering is so important, I'm very happy to explain this to you. There are a bunch of us that firmly believe that peering should be something that's owned and run by folks like you, the guys that run the networks, and shouldn't be run by other organizations. You can come find me later. Yes, at the Beers for Peers, we'll be drinking the beer, and you can find out more. There are things that we've done. We're busy with paperwork updates. We've been doing research, and we've been doing training, and we've been doing regional growth. I don't want to spend time there because you all are more interested in beers than listening to me talk about a lot of the things that we've done. Somewhere along the line, we went and picked up INX certification, and recently we're now Manners certified. That's that other naughty badge that I was talking about earlier. Not because we think it makes us better at what we do, but because of one simple reason, and that's really to be able to show and tell you that we run the exchanges to the best possible standards that you could expect. So my recollection is we were the only INX-1 and Manners certified internet exchange in the continent until recently when Douala IX now has it. These are some of the things we did. We have a new exchange in Port Elizabeth. It didn't actually work so well. I'm a pretend engineer. I keep saying this. I'm actually an economist. I don't know why you people listen to me when I talk about BGP. But I love failures. I do. I love failures. And while I'm not calling the exchange in Nimbinks a failure, I'm telling you that it's taken off at a much slower rate than what we expected. And that's fantastic. It's because it gives me something to do. I have a problem to fix, right? And the simple problem we've identified is that while you guys here in fancy Cape Town, right, sitting on the, the beach in Sauerkraut, was it Sauerkraut? And whatever. And while we do this up in Joburg, and the snobs in Durban are busy doing this from their surfboards, our cousins in PE and lots of other parts of the country absolutely need the community building, the development that we were talking about, when was it? Yesterday, when we were saying we need more training. So what needs to happen to grow peering in other regions is not that we tell them put long-distance circuits into Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, or even Port Elizabeth or Goburdhan. It's to get those networks trained, educated, so that they can be peering in those satellite cities, so to develop more internet exchanges. I disagree completely with the ISOC guy who said, more is better. We want more exchanges because, Tanzania is better than SA because they apparently had one more than us or something like that. That's nonsense. It's a terrible metric to measure. But we're a big country. We're a geographically dispersed country. We need more peering and more internet exchanges in places that make sense to people to peer and to get them to understand why they need to do that. And all of that comes from training and education. So training and education is a big focus for us. It's what I'm going to be spending a lot of our time on for, the next 6, 7, 8 years? I don't know, at least until I stop walking. There are other things that we've done. You may have seen the press release that says Jinx is now all on dark fiber. That's no small accomplishment, by the way. Let me tell you that when we first started doing the multi-site stuff, I got a quote from some operator who I don't want to mention their names, but they're in the room, for a 1 gig link between Isando and Parklands, two locations in Johannesburg, for 190,000 Rand a month. Now, that's not a lot of money to the US and the Europeans in the room, but that's a lot of money for us, right, for a 1 gig circuit. And this was 2015. That's an insane amount of money. Yeah, Angus, you should be shaking your head. Should I tell you who it was from? Today, I'm very happy to say that all of the locations that INX has dark fiber between them. So we're renting, or we have dark fiber sponsored from the different operators, and we're lighting that up ourselves. So capacity, thing of the past. And I want you to think how fantastic that is, especially if you've grown up in this South African internet where who remembers, am I just too old, going into the data center to flip the dip switches on the Mux boards to go from 19.2 to 32 kilobits a second? Anyone else? Besides that old man, there we go, Nigel, thank you, Nigel. Right? So to think that we've gone from selling 9.6 kilobits a second circuits to having a dispersed exchange that is fully dark fiber powered, that's fantastic. It's proof of everything that you heard from the speaker before me. We're growing, we're improving our infrastructure, and that's fantastic. Last year we did our first software project. We wrote something to help anonymize net flow. We made that open source. There's an article on it, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. And I'm not going to talk too much about the other stuff as well. It's written there. For those of you that engage with INX, you know community is close to our heart. So we spend a lot of our time working with people like the SD-NOG team. Some of you might know about the problems that have been happening in Sudan. One of the things that we did was we helped set up an emergency DR site for them, believe it or not, so that they could bring emergencies, online services to universities to provide services for university kids who are trying to get university transcripts and that so that they can get work. It's SD-NOG work. We're just helping to grow a community because we think that peering is not just about getting the ASNs in South Africa connected. It's about getting the network connected, everybody, wherever you are. And that's why we invest in stuff like IXP Manager to help other exchanges grow. The other thing that matters and is really close to my heart, for those of you that have been in this industry for a while, will know that we place a great deal of emphasis on saying that INX is community operated. And that matters to me. It matters because the decisions that get made, the things that we have to do, come from you. Maybe not you directly, but they come from people that you vote for, right? People like yourself, regular Joes, who are willing to stand up, invest their time, and say, this is what it takes, or this is what we want to see you run. And the bonus is, you get to be my boss. Well, you get to try. This year, we have 4 people that are going to be running for election, so I'm going to ask each of them to come to the microphone. 2 of them are not here. I have a statement from one of them, which I'm going to read very quickly, and then the 2 that are in the room, if you can each line up at the mic to save us some time, I would appreciate that. The first candidate on, I guess, your left-hand side, his name is Moaz, and the statement that I have for Moaz is, as a consulting network engineer and internet service provider director, Moaz Taladia has a wide range of technical skills and experience. He is highly proficient in networking technologies, including routing, switching, wireless, and security protocols. He also has extensive experience with network design and architecture and is able to plan and implement complex networks. In addition to his technical skills, Moaz is known for his strong problem-solving abilities and ability to think strategically. He's able to analyze a client's needs and develop customized solutions that maximize efficiency and performance. He is also an excellent communicator, able to clearly explain technical concepts to both technical and non-technical stakeholders. And that's the gentleman on the left-hand side. So since he's closer to the microphone, I'm going to call William Stuckey, the cantankerous old man that we all know and love, to tell us in 2 minutes why you think, he thinks we should vote for him. And Taryn, if I could ask you to.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's William Stuckey. I have been a member of ISPA for a long time, but I had to stop that when I ceased being an ISP. Subsequently, ISPA has asked me to chair their domain name working group, which has got nothing at all to do with the Internet Exchange Points. And they made me an honorary fellow to facilitate that process. I have been on the board of INX before, or the committee of INX before. I have been an ISP, I have been a regulator, and I've done all sorts of other things. But why you should vote for me to be on the board of INX is as follows. Firstly, I do understand the industry. I've been around quite a bit. I have helped set up exchange points. I've trained people in BGP, including in French. I have, and I think that we need to avoid the Afrinic type fuck up.
What's he saying?
I have experience in being a board member. Okay, I have been on the Tenet board. I'm currently, for 6 years, I'm currently on the SABIN board. SABIN is the Tenet equivalent for technical colleges. So I have experience in how to run boards, how to manage boards, and how to deal with it, think of the problems that they need to solve, which are not just technical. They are ethical, they are legal, and so I am aware of those, and I'm familiar with all those other issues as well. And anyway, I'm a hell of a good guy.
Thank you, William. Thank you very much. That's bravery, telling the guy who's potentially going to be my boss to shut up and sit down. If I could have Taryn come up for 2 minutes, please, and introduce herself and tell us why she thinks she's a good candidate to vote for.
Thanks, Nishal. So mine's short and sweet. With a passion and a specialization in tech marketing and digital infrastructure, I bring over 10 years of experience to the table. My expertise lies in fostering internet exchange ecosystems and communities in Africa, and I'm actively involved in community organizations such as SAFNOG, ZA-NOG, and Peering DB. With this experience, I hope I can contribute to the INX-ZA team as a committee member. Thank you.
Thank you, Taryn. William, were you listening? If we could get the slides back up so I could get this over with and you can all go for beers. Where were we? So yeah, there's four positions that are open, also 4 candidates that are running. For those of you that are INX members, you'll get the mail on Monday telling you how to vote. There's a URL. It's not difficult. You can do it from the comfort of your seat. Please vote for people that you think are most appropriate. I'm done almost, except to say that even though I'm no longer intimately working with the African Peering and Interconnection Forum, this has been a real driver for getting connectivity working, for getting peering working across the region, and the organizers have asked that I send you an invitation. This year the meeting is from the 20th to the 22nd of August in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's in Kinshasa. No, it is not scary. Okay, and you don't have to believe me. There was a white South African with me, that guy. He'll tell you that it wasn't that scary as well. We didn't get raped, we didn't get hijacked, we didn't get robbed, we didn't get shot at, and the chili is magnificent. So for those of you that like to help to work to improve the peering ecosystem, we'd love to see you to get connected in there. He says it's safer than Joburg. For those of you that are listening online, the guy in Durban doesn't get out his house, so I don't know how you can say that. I have one more message to say before I part. When my colleague Faith was up here, she was talking about the extensions that we've been making this year. And as you know, it's been our policy from the start to be data center agnostic. We love or hate, depending on relationship, all the data centers equally. Our goal is not to try to tell you to be in a particular data center. We don't really care where you put your infrastructure, honestly. We care that you make decisions that you want to make and that you're not beholden to any particular operator. So we try to operate that neutral fabric. Jinx is in 6 facilities now. I think the most recent one that we've extended to is Africa Data Center Samrand, and that was last year. This year we've announced that we will already be in NTT Joe 1. We've announced that we will be in Equinix as soon as those facilities are up and running. But I'm very pleased to tell you, for those of you that have been asking me at the event, that we've literally 5 minutes before the session started closed the agreement to say that we will also be at the open access data centers that are owned, run, collaborating with WIOC. So for those of you that are in OADC facilities, you'll be looking out for us. We'll be turning up there. More news to come from both the WIOC, AODC, and INX teams in the future. We don't have time for questions, which is fantastic because I'm sure you're all sick of me, but we'll be at the social. If you want to ask anything or make suggestions, let me know. All right, have fun, folks. I'm going to hand you back to Amrish. Thanks, Amrish.
Thank you, Nishal. All right.